My beloved child, stop for a moment right now and listen to the rhythm of my voice. Do not scroll away because this is your divine appointment. I have given you a window of mercy and it will not remain open for long. This message is for you and it will disappear in 26 minutes, so receive it immediately. I see you. I have always seen you. I saw you last night when the world grew quiet and the weight of your thoughts became a deafening roar. I saw you staring at the ceiling, wondering where it all went wrong, wondering why the things you loved most were snatched from your grasp. I was there in the room when you felt that sharp, cold sting of betrayal. And I am here now as you carry the heavy shards of a life that no longer looks like the one you dreamed of. You are holding on to the broken pieces of your past so tightly that your hands are beginning to bleed. And yet you are afraid that if you let go, there will be nothing left of you. But I am here to tell you that you are not losing yourself. You are being found. You are not falling apart. You are falling into the very center of my purpose for your life. Before I reveal the magnificent blessing that is already on its way to replace what you have lost, I need you to do one thing for me immediately. Do not overthink it. Do not delay it. Declare your presence in this sacred space right now. This is not just a video. It is a portal of restoration. Stop what you are doing and type "I am here, Lord" or 7007 in the comments right now. This is your first act of obedience in the middle of the ache. By doing this, you are signaling to heaven that you are no longer hiding in your shame, but standing ready to receive the double portion of joy I have prepared for you. Do it now, while this window is still open. Your declaration is the first crack in the wall of your prison, and I am standing on the other side, ready to pull you into the light. My precious chosen one, you have felt so isolated in your struggle, as if you are the only one walking through this valley of shadows. But you must understand that you are part of a greater family of light, a lineage of overcomers who have all stood where you are standing now. So I invite you immediately to join this family of believers by pressing the like button and subscribing to this channel. By doing so, you are not just clicking a button, you are making a spiritual covenant to walk in my truth every day. Pressing like is your way of saying, "Lord, I agree with your plan for my life, and I trust that you are working behind the scenes even when I cannot see it." Let this be the day you choose to surround yourself with. My word for the enemy thrives in your isolation, but your strength is multiplied when you join the assembly of the faithful. I know the echo of those broken pieces still rings in your ears. I know you wake up with a hollow ache in your chest, reaching for a hand that is no longer there, or a future that seems to have vanished like mist. You feel as though you are behind, as though the clock has run out, and you have missed your chance at happiness. But I am the author of time, and I tell you that you are not behind. You are being built. You are not breaking. You are becoming the vessel that can hold the weight of the glory I am about to pour out. Every tear you shed has been collected in my bottle. Not one drop of your sorrow has been wasted. I am taking the very fragments of your heartbreak, and I am using them as the foundation for a temple of peace that no storm will ever be able to shake again. Trust me, for I am the potter, and you are the clay, and I am molding you into a masterpiece of resilience. My child, let us walk together into that hidden corner of your mind, the one I call the memory room. I see you there often, sitting in the dim light of what used to be replaying the scenes of your life, like an old flickering film that you cannot seem to turn off. I see how you linger on the smiles that have faded, the voices that have gone silent, and the doors that were slammed shut before you were ready to leave. You analyze every word spoken and every word left unsaid, searching for a different ending to a story that has already been written. Your heart feels like a heavy stone in your chest, and your breath comes in shallow gasps because you are carrying the weight of a version of yourself that no longer exists. I know the physical exhaustion that comes with this mental labor. I see how your eyes are weary from looking backward, trying to find a reason or a rhyme in the chaos of your loss. You are not alone in that room, my beloved. I am sitting in the chair right next to you, watching the same scenes, feeling the same pangs of sorrow that ripple through your spirit. I am not there to judge you for your inability to just move on. I am there to hold your hand while you process the depth of what was lost, for I created your heart to love deeply. And I know that such love does not simply vanish overnight. There is a peculiar kind of torture in the way you keep the past alive. A bittersweet longing that keeps you tethered to a season that has already surrendered to the wind. You look at photographs not just with your eyes, but with your wounds, wondering if you will ever feel that spark of joy again, or if the best parts of your life are buried in the graveyard of your yesterday. I hear the silent questions you whisper into your pillow. Was it all for nothing? Why did I give so much only to be left with so little? My precious one, I want you to know that your capacity to remember is not a curse, but a testament to the richness of the soul I gave you. However, you were never meant to live in the memory room. It was intended to be a hallway, not a destination. You have turned a place of reflection into a place of residence, and the air there has become stale with grief. I see the way your shoulders slump under the burden of regret, the should-haves and the could-haves that haunt your peace. You feel as though you are betraying the past if you look toward the future, as if your healing would somehow diminish the importance of what you once had. But I tell you, your scars are not signs of weakness. They are the credentials of your endurance. I am here to wash the dust of old sorrows from your feet, so that you can walk out of that room and into the expansive horizon I have laid out before you. I watch you try to fix the broken vases of your past with the glue of your own tears, but the cracks remain, and the water of your spirit keeps leaking out. You are trying to sustain yourself on the crumbs of old bread, when I am preparing a banquet of new wine and fresh manna just outside the door. I see the specific moments that trigger your spiral. A certain song, a scent in the air, a date on the calendar, and I see how they knock the wind out of you. Do not be ashamed of your humanity. Even in the depths of your longing, I am weaving a tapestry of grace that covers every jagged edge of your experience. You think you are losing your mind because you cannot stop thinking about the then, but I am using this season of intense reflection to show you exactly what you are carrying that was never mine for you to keep. I am refining your vision so that you can eventually see the past through my eyes, not as a series of failures or tragedies, but as a necessary cocoon for the transformation that is currently taking place in the secret parts of your heart. Rest your weary head on my shoulder, for I am the God who remembers your frame and knows that you are but dust, yet I have breathed eternal life into that dust, and I am not finished with you. The memory room is closing its doors not to shut you out from your history, but to invite you into your destiny. My precious one, I see the silent war you are fighting within yourself, the guilt that gnaws at your spirit because you feel you are not moving fast enough. You hear the world's frantic pace, the voices telling you to just get over it and look on the bright side. And you feel like a failure because your heart still aches, because your steps are still heavy. But I want you to breathe deeply. Feel my peace entering your lungs. I am the creator of the eons, the master of the seasons, and I am in no hurry with you. I do not look at your healing with a stopwatch. I look at it with the infinite patience of a father who knows the depth of the wound. Do not apologize for your pace. Do not feel ashamed that you are still processing what was shattered. I am not frustrated by your slow progress. I am honored by your persistence. I am the God who waits, and I am perfectly content to sit with you in the quiet of your recovery for as long as it takes. Your worth is not measured by how quickly you can bounce back, but by the courage it takes to keep trusting me in the middle of the ache. I have counted every wandering step you have taken in this wilderness. I have tracked every night you spent pacing the floor, every moment you felt lost in the fog of your own grief. Do you think I have overlooked your struggle? I tell you, I have collected every single tear you have shed in my divine bottle. Not one drop has fallen to the earth without me noticing. In my kingdom, your tears are not signs of weakness. They are liquid prayers. They are the seeds of your future joy. You may feel like you are drowning in them now, but I am using those very tears to water the soil of a new garden I am planting in your soul. What feels like a flood today will be the irrigation for your harvest tomorrow. You are not behind some invisible schedule. You are exactly where you need to be for the deep work I am doing. I am not just fixing the surface. I am rebuilding your foundations, and that kind of architecture requires time. I am the God of the process, and I promise you, the process is just as sacred as the destination. I know it is difficult to trust the timing when the pain feels so immediate. You want the relief now, the answers now, the restoration now. But I see the bigger picture. I know when the right time is for the door to open, and I know that if I opened it too soon, you wouldn't have the strength to carry the blessing that waits on the other side. Think of your life as a vessel I am preparing. If I fill it while the clay is still wet and soft, it will collapse under the weight. I am letting the fires of this season temper you, making you strong, making you resilient, making you fireproof. I am never too late, and I am never too early. At your worst moment when you think it is all over, I am just getting started. As long as I am giving you breath, it means I am not finished with you yet. Trust my divine patience. Yield to the rhythm of my grace. Stop trying to force the sunrise when it is still the middle of the night. Rest in the knowledge that the sun will rise, and when it does, it will reveal a landscape more beautiful than anything you have ever lost. My beloved child, there is a fear that haunts you, a shadow that whispers that if you stop hurting, you are somehow erasing the person you used to be. You fear that letting go of the pain means you are losing the only thing you have left of what was taken. You think that forgetting is an act of betrayal, a cold erasure of a love or a dream that once meant everything to you. But I am here to tell you that the way the world defines forgetting is not the way I define healing. In my kingdom, forgetting is not amnesia. It is liberation. It is not about the loss of memory, but about the loss of the sting. It is the divine process where the memory remains, but the power it has to paralyze your soul is broken forever. I am not asking you to delete the chapters of your life. I am asking you to turn the page so that I can write the glorious conclusion I have planned for you. Think of the way a physical wound heals. At first, it feels like it will never stop hurting. When the injury is fresh, the slightest touch causes you to scream in agony. You cannot focus on anything else but the throb of the pain. But as time passes, and my healing hand works upon your skin, a scar begins to form. That scar is a map of your survival. You can touch it, you can look at it, and you can remember exactly how it happened, but the pain is gone. The memory is there, but the torment is absent. This is what I am doing for your heart right now. I am turning your open wounds into sacred scars. You will look back on this season, not with a shudder of despair, but with a sigh of relief, marveling at how I carried you through the fire without letting you be consumed. To forget in a spiritual sense is to be so filled with my present peace that the past no longer has enough room to dictate your future. I see the heaviest weight you carry in that memory room, the weight of self-blame. You replay your mistakes, the things you said in anger, the things you didn't do to save what was falling apart. You are your own harshest judge, and the enemy of your soul uses your own conscience to keep you shackled to a version of yourself that I have already forgiven. Hear me now, chosen one. I do not see you through the lens of your failures. I see you through the lens of my grace. So do this for me now. Stop running. Stop hiding. Place your hand over your heart, right where the ache is most intense, and whisper these words into the atmosphere. I forgive myself. I release the burden of what I could not change. I accept the peace of God. As you speak, those words feel the chains loosening. You are not a prisoner of your history. You are a pioneer of your destiny. When I say I will remember your sins no more, it is not because I have a poor memory. It is because I have a perfect love that chooses to see the new you I am creating. By forgiving yourself, you are coming into agreement with me. You are saying that my sacrifice was enough, that my grace is sufficient, and that you are worthy of a second act. The forgetting has begun, not as a loss of your identity, but as the shedding of a skin that was too small for the person you are becoming. You are being refined, and soon you will walk out of the shadow of your past with eyes that are clear and a heart that is ready to receive the much more I have in store for you. My child, I see how the world tries to lure you into its shallow waters when the ocean of your grief feels too deep to swim. I hear the whispers of the culture around you telling you that the only way to heal is to replace, to find another person to fill the silence, to buy another distraction, to drown out the echoes, or to chase a temporary high to mask the crushing low. This is the trap of substitution. You are tempted to run from the emptiness I have allowed, reaching for anything that will numb the ache, even for a moment. But I tell you, a substitute is not a solution. It is merely a bandage over a wound that needs my divine touch to truly close. When you rush to fill the void with the new, before I have finished cleaning the old, you are only burying the infection deeper. I see you scrolling, searching, and grasping for a quick fix. But those things are like salt water to a thirsty soul. They only leave you more parched than before. Do not let the urgency of your pain drive you into the arms of something or someone that I have not ordained for your next season. Understand the profound difference between the world's painkillers and my divine healing. The world offers you ways to forget the pain. I offer you a way to be transformed by it. A painkiller only dulls the nerves, numbing the symptoms, while the underlying cause remains unaddressed. When the effect wears off, if the injury is still there, raw and pulsing, often even more sensitive than before. My healing is a reconstruction from the inside out. I do not want to just distract you from your sorrow. I want to walk with you through it until the sorrow itself becomes the fertile soil for your strength. You think the emptiness you feel is a sign of my absence, or a mark of my failure to provide, but it is actually the sign of my careful preparation. I have cleared the ground of your life, not to leave it barren, but because the new structure I am building for you is so vast and so glorious that the old ruins had to be completely removed to make room for its foundation. Do not settle for a shadow when I am bringing you the substance. Do not settle for a temporary comfort when I am offering you an eternal peace that the world cannot give and the world cannot take away. I am not a God who simply patches up old tattered garments. I do not merely fill the gaps left by those who walked away or the dreams that crumbled into dust. I am the great architect, the master builder, and I am recreating your very structure. When a wall in your heart falls, I do not just put back the same bricks in the same places. I redesign the entire room to hold more of my light and more of my presence. You feel the draft and the biting cold of the exposure, but I am making you more spacious, more capable of holding a glory you have never known. I am not replacing a person with a person or a job with a job. I am replacing your fragility with my fortitude. I am replacing your constant anxiety with my absolute authority. Trust me in the heavy silence of the void. If I have allowed a space to open up in your life, it is because I intend to occupy it with my own presence first. Until you realize that I am enough to sustain you, no earthly substitute will ever be enough to satisfy you. Wait for me with a heart of expectancy. Let the hollow space remain for a season, so that when I finally bring the new, it will not be a mere replacement, but a divine upgrade, a gift that fits perfectly with the new person you have become through this trial. You are a vessel of honor, and I will not allow you to be filled with cheap imitations. I know the temptation to settle because you are tired of being alone or tired of the struggle. But I am guarding you from what would only hinder your destiny. The world tells you that new is always better, but I tell you that holy is always better. I am purifying your desires in this season of lack, so that when the abundance comes, you will know how to manage it without losing yourself in it. Every time you say no to a quick fix, you are saying yes to my perfect timing. You are choosing the solid ground of my promise over the sinking sand of temporary relief. Stay the course, my chosen one. Do not fill the silence with noise. Fill it with my word. Do not fill the emptiness with things. Fill it with my spirit. I am working even now to bring forth something so unique, so specifically tailored to your soul, that you will look back and thank me for the doors I kept closed and the substitutes I kept away. My love for you is too great to let you be satisfied with anything less than my best. My precious child, I have heard the why that has been echoing in the chambers of your heart for weeks, months, perhaps even years. You have asked me why I allowed that relationship to crumble when you gave it your all. You have asked why I let that door close when you worked so hard to open it. You have asked why I took away the comfort, the security, and the people you thought would be with you until the very end. I have seen you on your knees, searching for a reason, wondering if I was punishing you or if I had simply forgotten you. Hear me now, and let my words bring a stillness to your soul. I did not take it away to hurt you. I took it away to protect you. I saw what was happening in the secret places where you could not see. I saw the rot beneath the surface of what looked like a beautiful garden. I saw the chains that were being forged in the dark chains that would have eventually bound your spirit and stolen your destiny. I intervened because I love you too much to let you be destroyed by something you thought you needed. Think of a gardener who loves his vine. To the untrained eye, the pruning looks like an act of violence. The sharp blades cut deep into the wood, and the branches that once seemed vibrant are cast into the fire. The vine might feel stripped bare and wounded, but the gardener knows that if he does not prune the dead weight and the overgrowth, the vine will eventually wither under its own burden, or it will produce fruit that is small and bitter. I am the great gardener, and you are my most prized vine. I saw that the things I took away were no longer serving your growth. They were sucking the life out of your spirit, keeping you focused on the ground when I was calling you to reach for the heavens. I removed what was good so that I could make room for what is great. The loss you feel is actually the space I have cleared for a harvest that is beyond your imagination. You were outgrowing your container, and instead of letting you remain stunted, I broke the pot so that I could plant you in a wide open field. I also want you to understand, then, that some of the things I removed were actually answers to prayers you prayed long ago. Do you remember asking me for peace? Do you remember asking me to lead you into your purpose? Sometimes the answer to a prayer for peace is the removal of a person who brings chaos. Sometimes the path to your purpose requires the closing of a door that leads to a dead end. You are holding on to a version of your life that was too small for the giant I am calling you to be. The old coat no longer fit the new you. If you had kept wearing it, it would have eventually suffocated you. I saw the hidden traps, the subtle compromises, and the slow drift away from my light that those attachments were causing. My silence during the removal was not abandonment. It was the focused concentration of a surgeon performing a life-saving operation. I had to be precise, and I had to be thorough. You may not see it yet, but you will soon realize that what I took away was actually a weight that was holding you back from soaring. I am preparing you to handle the weight of a much greater blessing. But real blessings are heavy and require strong shoulders. If you had kept the little that you were so desperately clinging to, you would have lacked the capacity to carry the much that is coming. Do not weep over the ashes of what was burned. Instead, look at the soil, for it is now rich and ready for the new seeds I am about to sow. I know the pain of the transition is intense, but the glory of the destination will make the suffering seem like a fleeting shadow. I am the God who redeems every loss. I am the God who restores what the locusts have eaten. Trust my hands, even when they are holding the pruning shears, for those same hands are the ones that will soon lift you up to a level of abundance you never thought possible. My beloved child, I want you to take a deep breath and look at yourself through my eyes. You see a survivor who is barely holding on, but I see a masterpiece that is finally taking shape. The blueprint I have drawn for your life has shifted from the fragile temporary structures of your youth to the unbreakable, eternal fortress of your maturity. You have been asking me to return you to the person you were before the loss, before the heartbreak, before the betrayal. But I cannot do that, for that person was not built to survive the glory I am about to bestow upon you. That person was comfortable, but you are being made capable. That person was happy, but you are being made holy. I am not restoring you to your old self. I am upgrading you to your true self. The blueprint for the survivor is not written with ink on paper, but with endurance upon the tablet of your heart. You are being rebuilt with stronger materials faith that has been tested by fire wisdom, that has been distilled through tears, and a peace that no longer depends on your circumstances. You often wonder why the battle has been so fierce and why the weight has been so heavy. It is because I do not give big assignments to small people. You are the chosen one set apart from the foundations of the world for a specific mission that only a tempered soul can fulfill. I have allowed the pressure because pressure is the only thing that can turn coal into a diamond. You are not being punished, you are being trained. You are in a divine boot camp, and though the training is grueling, it is precisely what will allow you to stand as a pillar of strength for others who will soon follow in your footsteps. The blueprint I have for you includes a level of authority that you could never have handled a year ago. I am stretching your capacity to receive, increasing your maturity and solidifying your character so that when the abundance comes, it will not crush you, but it will be a platform for my glory. You are becoming fireproof, stormproof, and doubt-proof. Your scars are not signs of shame, my precious one. They are your credentials. In the kingdoms of this world, people show their trophies, but in my kingdom, my greatest warriors show their scars. Your scars tell the story of a God who did not let you go and a child who did not give up. They are the proof that you were in the fire and did not burn, that you were in the flood and did not drown. When you emerge from this hidden season, you will not be the same person who entered it. You will walk with a different stride, speak with a different authority, and love with a different depth. The blueprint for the new you includes a heart that is wide enough to hold both the memory of the pain and the power of the promise. You are being fashioned into a vessel of honor, and every crack I have sealed with my grace has only made you more beautiful and more valuable. I am rewriting your identity from victim to victor. I am erasing the labels that others have placed upon you, the labels of rejected, abandoned, or failed. And I am branding you with my own name. You are mine. This blueprint for the survivor is about to become the blueprint for the ruler. You have handled the little things of sorrow and waiting with a faithfulness that has moved my heart. Now your entrance exam is nearing its end. I am getting you prepared to handle the weight of the blessing that is coming. It is a big blessing, a heavy blessing, one that requires the very character I have been building in the dark. Do not look back at the ruins of what used to be. Look at the horizon of what is becoming. The architecture of your future is more magnificent than the history of your past. Stand tall, chosen one, for the architect is at work, and the foundation is now solid enough to support the greatness I have destined for you. My child, you are currently walking through a season that feels cold, barren, and utterly silent. You look around and see the trees of your life stripped of their leaves, the ground frozen beneath your feet, and the sky a heavy, relentless gray. You feel as though the warmth of my presence has retreated to a distant horizon, leaving you to shiver in the isolation of your own thoughts. You have called out to me, and yet the only answer you hear is the whistle of the wind through the empty branches of your dreams. I want you to know that this is not a sign of my abandonment, nor is it a mark of my displeasure. This is the winter of the soul. It is a sacred, necessary season that every chosen one must endure. Just as the earth must rest in the cold to prepare for the explosion of life in the spring, your spirit is currently in a state of holy incubation. You feel nothing is happening, but I tell you everything is happening beneath the surface. In the natural world, winter is the time when the roots go deep. Because there is no energy being spent on the leaves or the fruit, the plant focuses all its strength on grounding itself. This is what I am doing in you right now. I have stripped away the outward distractions, the applause of men, and the visible successes so that your roots can find the deep, hidden waters of my spirit. If I had allowed you to keep blooming without this winter, your root system would have remained shallow, and you would have toppled over in the great storm that is coming to the world. I am making you unshakable. I am using the silence to teach you how to hear my heartbeat, not just my hands. I am using the cold to teach you how to generate a fire from within that does not depend on external circumstances. This hidden season is where your true character is forged, where the you that I designed before time began is finally separated from the you the world tried to create. If you believe that your winter is coming to an end and that I am working a miracle in the dark soil of your life, do not stay silent. This is a moment of divine alignment. Press the like button and subscribe to this channel right now to declare that you are part of this remnant of faith. By subscribing, you are planting yourself in a garden of believers where my word is spoken daily. Then I want you to type "I believe" in the comments to signal to the heavens that your faith is not dormant, but alive and expectant. Let the sound of your agreement shatter the icy silence of this season. Your like and your subscribe are acts of spiritual defiance against the enemy who wants you to believe that this winter is your permanent home. It is not. It is merely a bridge to your greatest harvest. Do not be deceived by the lack of visible activity. The most intense work of the Creator often happens in the dark. I am currently rearranging the molecules of your destiny. I am aligning the right people, the right opportunities, and the right resources so that when the first light of your spring arrives, everything will be in its perfect place. You are not in a prison, you are in a construction site. The silence you hear is the sound of me working on the foundation. I did not bring you through the heat of the summer and the pruning of the autumn to let you perish in the winter. I am the God of the resurrection, and I promise you, life is stirring in the depths. Hold on a little longer. Keep your heart soft even when the world feels hard. The frost is already beginning to melt, and the seeds I have planted in your tears are about to break through the surface with a beauty you never thought possible. My beloved, I am whispering to you now because the storm within you is finally beginning to subside. For so long, your soul has been a place of loud, jagged cries, screams of, "Why? How much longer? And where are you?" Your prayers were born of desperation, shouted into the wind, as if you were trying to wake me up, not realizing that I was the one holding you steady while the waves crashed over your head. But notice the change in the atmosphere today. The air is becoming still. The frantic pounding in your chest is slowing to a gentle rhythm. This is the first sign of the divine shift I am performing in your life. You are moving from the season of the scream to the season of the whisper. You are entering a level of peace that does not make sense to the world. A peace that passes all understanding, a quiet confidence that says, "I don't have all the answers yet, but I know the one who does." I am giving you a prophecy of your coming days, chosen one. Very soon, sooner than you think, you are going to wake up and notice something strange. You will reach for the heavy weight of your grief, but it will not be there. You will look for the familiar ache of your loss, but the sharpness will have vanished. You will experience a morning where the first thought in your mind is not, "How will I survive this?" but "Thank you, Father, for this day." This is the miracle of the quiet heart. It is not a loud, flashy event. It is the silent, steady restoration of your joy. I am smoothing out the ruffled feathers of your spirit. I am hushing the echoes of every cruel word spoken against you and every lie the enemy whispered in your ear. My peace is not just the absence of conflict. It is the presence of my power working in total silence to make all things new. This shift is also changing the way you talk to me. I see the transition in your prayer life. You are no longer begging me to act as if I am reluctant. You are beginning to thank me for acting because you know I am faithful. Your words are becoming like seeds planted in quiet soil rather than stones thrown into a turbulent sea. When you whisper my name now, it carries more authority than all the shouting of your past. In the quiet, you can finally hear my instructions. In the stillness, you can finally receive the blueprints for your next chapter. I am taking the raw energy of your pain and converting it into the power of your purpose. The very thing that made you scream will soon be the very thing that makes you sing. But for now, just rest in the whisper. Let my voice be the only one that defines your reality. The morning is coming, and with it a lightness of being you haven't felt since you were a child. I am removing the lead from your spirit and replacing it with the gold of my glory. You have passed the test of the storm, and you have remained standing. Now listen closely to the silence. For in that silence, I am telling you how much I love you. In that silence, I am showing you the faces of the people you will help and the doors you will walk through. The screams were for your survival, but the whispers are for your success. Be still and know that I am God. The transition has begun, and the peace I am giving you right now is the seal of the victory that is already yours. My child, I want you to look at your hands. Look at them closely. For a long time, they have been clenched into tight fists, holding onto the remnants of what was lost, clinging to the ghosts of people and dreams that I have already called home or moved out of your path. You think that by holding on, you are preserving the value of what you had. But in reality, you are only preventing your hands from being free to receive what I am holding out to you right now. There is a profound spiritual law that you must understand. You cannot reach for the new while you are still white-knuckling the old. If your hands are full of yesterday's ashes, there is no room for today's gold. I am asking you to practice the holy art of letting go. It is not an act of weakness. It is the highest form of strength. It is a posture of absolute trust that says, Lord, I give you back what was never mine to keep, so that I can receive what you have truly destined for me. I see the fear that rises when I ask you to open your palms. You feel that if you let go of the grief, you will be empty. But emptiness is not a prison. It is a canvas. I want you to be a vessel, not a reservoir. A reservoir holds onto water until it becomes stagnant and dead. But a vessel allows the water to flow through staying fresh and life-giving. If you believe that I am breaking the chains of your past right now and freeing your hands for a greater harvest, do not stay silent. This is your moment of affirmation. Type breakthrough is mine in the comments right now to claim this release. By typing these words, you are performing a prophetic act of opening your heart. You are telling the enemy that he no longer has a hook in your history, and you are telling me that you are ready for the much more that I am about to pour into your life. While you wait for the grand restoration, I have promised I am watching how you handle the now. This is the stewardship of the present. You may feel that your current life is small, quiet, or even insignificant compared to the greatness you feel stirring inside you, but do not despise these small beginnings. How you handle the little things and the way you treat the people still in your life, the way you manage the resources you still have, the way you speak to yourself in the mirror. This is your entrance exam for the much. I am looking for a heart that is faithful in the shadows, so that I can trust it with the spotlight. Stop looking so far into the distance that you trip over the blessings I have placed right at your feet today. Be a good steward of this moment, even if this moment is just a single breath of peace or a small act of kindness. I want you to fix your eyes straight ahead. Do not look to the left at what others are achieving, and do not look to the right at the paths you didn't take. And most importantly, do not look back. Remember the lesson of those who looked back and became frozen in their own history. Your future is not behind you. Your life is not a circle. It is an upward spiral. Every day you choose to be present, to be grateful for the daily bread I provide, and to let go of the yesterday's sorrow. You are building the muscle of your character. I am preparing you to be a ruler over much, but you must first be a faithful servant of the now. Trust me with the timing of the big event. Your job is to stay aligned, stay open, and stay faithful to the grace I am giving you for this very hour. The door is already turning on its hinges, but I need you standing ready with empty hands and a focused heart. My precious child, I have noticed a beautiful shift in the way you speak to me. For so long, your prayers were heavy like stones you were trying to carry up a steep mountain. They were born of a desperate need to survive, filled with the weight of, please Lord, save me, and Father, why have you forsaken me? I heard every one of those cries, and I cherished them, for they were the honest groans of a soul in labor. But now, as the healing begins to take root, I am inviting you into the lightness of prayer. You are moving from the position of a beggar at the gate to a child at the Father's table. You no longer need to shout to get my attention, for I am closer to you than your own breath. You no longer need to exhaust yourself trying to convince me to bless you, for it is my good pleasure to give you the kingdom. This new way of praying is not about the quantity of your words. but the quality of your trust. It is a gentle leaning into my presence, a quiet conversation where you listen more than you speak. I want you to experience the relief that comes when you stop trying to make things happen through the sheer force of your spiritual will. I already know what you need before you even ask. I saw the list of worries you brought to me this morning, and I want you to watch as I transform those worries into whispers of gratitude. When you come to me now, come with the expectation that the answer is already on its way. Prayer is becoming for you a place of rest, not a place of labor. Instead of saying, "I am tired," start saying, "I am strong in the Lord." Instead of agreeing with the lack in your life, come into agreement with my abundance. When you speak from a place of, "It is finished," the atmosphere around you must align with the victory of heaven. This lightness is your new strength. It is the sign that you have finally realized that you are not the one holding the world together. I am. I am giving you a prophecy regarding the desires you have carried in secret for so long. Because you are learning to pray with this new lightness, the blessings you seek will arrive with a strange and beautiful ease. The next season of your life will not be defined by the hustle or the grind of the world. The doors that are about to open for you in your career, in your finances, and in your relationships will open not because you kicked them down, but because the lock simply melted in the heat of my favor. You will find that the right people will seek you out. You will find that the resources you need will appear exactly when you need them without you having to beg or borrow. This is the reward of the aligned soul. When you make peace with the now and pray with the lightness of faith, you remove the friction that has been slowing down your miracle. I invite you to join this family of light once more by pressing the like button and subscribing to this channel. By doing this, you are signifying that you are choosing the path of peace over the path of struggle. Pressing like is your digital amen to this new season of ease. Let this be the moment you decide that you will no longer carry the heavy burdens of the world on your shoulders. You were created to soar, not to crawl. Subscribe to stay connected to this daily stream of grace, for the enemy will try to pull you back into the old heavy ways of thinking. But my word will keep you light. Take a deep breath and release the tension in your spirit. I am in control. I am your provider, your defender, and your best friend. Your prayers have been heard, the answer is in motion, and it is coming to you with the gentleness of a summer breeze. My precious child, the time of your recompense has arrived. I have watched the ledger of your life with a meticulous eye, and I have seen every unfair advantage taken against you, every hour of labor that went unpaid, and every ounce of love you gave that was never returned. In the world's economy, once something is gone, it is lost forever. But in my kingdom, I am the master of time and the Lord of restoration. I do not just give back, I compensate. I do not just replace, I multiply. I am the God of the double portion, and I am moving right now to balance the scales of your life. Every tear you shed in the dark has been recorded as a deposit in the bank of heaven, and the interest has been accumulating while you were waiting. You are not just coming out of this season with your life intact. You are coming out with an abundance that will make the years of lack look like a distant, fading shadow. I know you have felt the sting of the locust years, those seasons where it felt like swarms of circumstances were devouring your joy, your finances, and your peace. I saw the swarming locusts of debt, the crawling locusts of loneliness, and the consuming locusts of heartbreak. But hear my decree over your life today. I will restore to you the years that the locusts have eaten. I will give you back the time you think you wasted. I will give you back the health you thought was failing. I will give you back the opportunities you thought had passed you by. I am breathing life into the dead soil of your history. And I am causing a harvest to spring up from the very ground where you once buried your dreams. This is not a mere repair. It is a total divine renovation. What was broken will be made better than it was. When it was new for my glory, is now infused into every fiber of your being. You must understand that I never settle for a downgrade. If I allowed something to be removed from your life, it was only because I had an upgrade prepared for you that you could not yet see. You have been mourning over the loss of bronze, but I have been refining the gold. You have been weeping over the departure of those who were only meant to be a chapter, while I was preparing the person who is meant to be the rest of your story. My restoration is not about returning you to your former state. It is about elevating you to a state you never knew existed. The new doors I am opening will be wider than the ones that closed. The new relationships I am bringing will be deeper and more faithful. The new peace I am giving will be unshakable. I am the God who does exceedingly abundantly above all that you could ask or think, and you are about to see the evidence of my generosity in every area of your existence. If you believe that I am the God of the double portion and that your restoration is being activated right now, do not stay silent. This is the moment to seal my promise with your faith. Type "I receive my restoration" or 777 in the comments to signal to the heavenly host that you are ready for the harvest. By doing this, you are coming into alignment with the decree of heaven. You are saying that you no longer identify with the lack of your past, but with the abundance of your future. Let the sound of your agreement echo through the spiritual realm. Your restoration is not just a hope. It is a finished work. The angels are already being dispatched with the keys to your new storehouses. Stand in expectation. Chosen one, for the great restoration has begun, and the glory of your latter house shall be far greater than the former. My beloved child, the threshold is beneath your feet, and the scent of fresh rain is already in the air. Can you feel the shift? The new is no longer a distant whisper or a far-off hope. It is springing forth in this very breath. I have watched you walk through the scorched deserts where the ground was cracked and your throat was parched. But look again, I am making a way in the wilderness and rivers in the wasteland. Do not look back at the ruins of what used to be, for I am doing a thing so fresh, so vibrant, and so unexpected that your former sorrows will not even come to mind. I am not just giving you a second chance. I am giving you a new beginning. The seeds that were buried in the cold, dark soil of your tears are finally cracking open, and what is emerging is not just a replacement for what you lost, but a species of joy you have never encountered before. I tell you, do not cling to the memory of the former things or dwell on the past. Behold, I am doing a new thing. Now it springs forth. Do you not perceive it? I am creating paths through the impossible and streams of provision in the places you thought were barren. The new I am bringing into your life is specifically designed for the person you have become. Through the fire, it is a new level of favor, a new depth of intimacy, and a new authority in your words. You are no longer defined by the scars of your history, but by the glory of your destiny. This is the season where the chosen one steps out of the shadows of preparation and into the light of manifestation. I am aligning the stars of your future to shine so brightly that the darkness of your past will be swallowed up in the radiance of my love. The shift is happening right now in the secret places of your heart and the unseen corridors of your circumstances. You may not see the full forest yet, but the first buds are already on the branches. I am bringing a new song to your lips and a new strength to your bones. The relationships that are forming now will be rooted in my spirit, and the opportunities that are appearing will be covered in my favor. You have passed the test of the old, and you have shown me your faithfulness in the lack. Now prepare yourself for the abundance of the new. This is not a temporary season of relief, but a permanent shift in your spiritual climate. The winter is over. The time of the singing birds has come. Walk forward with your head held high, for I am with you, and the new I have prepared for you is more magnificent than anything you have ever dared to dream. Seal this prophecy in your spirit right now, for the gates are opening. I want you to declare your readiness to the heavens. Type, "I am ready for the new," or 1111 in the comments right now, to signify your departure from the old and your arrival at the new. By doing this, you are marking this moment as the turning point of your life. Do not let the enemy steal this seed of hope with doubt. This is your divine yes to my divine new. Let the sound of your agreement be the final nail in the coffin of your past struggles. You are stepping into a territory of blessing that you have never walked before, and I am right there beside you, leading the way into the glorious. Now I have created just for you. My precious chosen child, we have reached the pinnacle of this divine journey. Look back for one final moment, not with sorrow, but with the awe of a traveler who has survived the highest peaks and the deepest valleys. You started this message with a heart heavy with the shards of broken pieces, but you stand here now as a vessel filled with the golden light of my presence. I have watched you move from the scream to the whisper, from the winter to the spring, and from the ash to the beauty. You have learned that the things I took away were not to punish you, but to vacate the space for my glory to dwell. Every loss was a lesson, every delay was a protection, and every tear was a seed. You are no longer the person you were when we began this conversation. You have been refined, redefined, and restored. The old has passed away. Behold, the new has come, and it is more radiant than anything you could have imagined in your darkest hour. I want you to hold on to this truth with all your might. I am all you need. The world will tell you that you are only as good as your bank account, your relationships, or your successes, but I tell you that you are defined by the fact that you are mine. When everything else falls away, I remain. I am the Alpha and the Omega, the beginning and the end, and I am the constant companion of your soul. You have found in this season of stripping that when you have nothing left but me, you realize that I am more than enough. I am your peace in the storm, your provider in the lack, and your victory in the battle. Do not fear the future, for I am already there, preparing the way. Do not mourn the past, for I have already redeemed it. Rest in the absolute sufficiency of my love. You are protected, you are provided for, and you are precious beyond measure in my sight. Now receive my final blessing and the seal of this prophecy upon your life. I speak over your mind that you shall have the peace that surpasses all understanding. I speak over your body that you shall walk in health and vitality. I speak over your finances that you shall be a lender and not a borrower, and that my abundance shall overflow in your storehouses. I speak over your family that they shall be protected by the blood and walk in the light of my truth. I decree that every door I have opened for you, no man can shut, and every blessing I have spoken over you, no enemy can steal. You are being launched into a season of unprecedented favor. The double portion is not just a promise, it is your new reality. Walk in the authority I have given you. Shine with the light I have placed within you. The world will see my glory upon you and know that you are indeed my chosen one. Seal this prophecy now and forever so that it may be locked into the very fabric of your destiny. Do not leave this sacred space without making your final declaration of faith. Type Amen, or it is done in the comments right now. to signal that you have accepted every word of this message as truth. By doing this, you are closing the door on the old and stepping fully into the abundance of the new. And as we conclude this intimate conversation, I invite you one last time to join our family of believers. Press the like button and subscribe to this channel to stay anchored in my word. When you subscribe, you are joining a global community of light that will support you as you walk in your new level of destiny. Go now in peace, for the struggle is over, the restoration has begun, and I am with you always, even unto the end of the age.